Hey, I'm Dr. Jenn, and welcome to In the Den with Dr. Jenn. Are you a new mom who just doesn't feel like having sex anymore? Then our Jenn Chat is for you. The sexual fun fact is about how sperm find their way to eggs, and our sex position of the day is called the out-of-town guests. Stay tuned. So you partner up with somebody, you have a hot sex life, you decide to engage in beautiful act of making love to make a baby, you go through pregnancy, childbirth, and then, or you adopt. What happened to your sex life? It's not uncommon for the sex life to become pretty non-existent once kids are in the picture. And today we have a guest to speak about this. And what you, if you're a woman bothered by this in your life, can do about it. Kathy Wynn is an educator, mom, sister, wife, friend, advocate, dreamer, blogger, traveler, food addict, bag fanatic, shoe lover, and most importantly, someone who is passionate about empowering women's sexual health. Welcome, Kathy.
Thank you, Dr. Jenn.
All right, so let's talk about this. This shows up a lot, with my clients. So what happens to couples once they have kids?
Well, there's a couple of things. When it was just two people who are in love, they have a lot of time for each other. But then when you bring a third person to the party, a lot of roles and expectations get shifted. So one of the big stressors is now you have to have all your energy focused on this tiny little person, which means that your role as a parent becomes your priority. And I think most of the time when women become moms, they end up having all their energy focused on that little child that they forget to focus on their relationship or even focus on themselves.
Okay, so is it that it's causing resentment to the partner? Is it just, that it doesn't cross their time? Is it that they're not getting enough sleep, or probably?
Well, it's a plethora of things.
Yeah.
I mean, anytime you have a new child that's introduced into the family, you're being a new parent, that's a stressor in itself.
Yeah.
You're adjusting, sleeping habits are changed because you're adjusting again to life as being a parent.
Yeah.
You're adjusting to life as being a dual role as a parent and as a mother or a wife.
Yeah.
As a woman, we play many different hats. And sometimes I think that, when you're in this role, per se, you lose focus on the relationship because you're so exhausted by the end of the day. If you're working full time, you're trying to raise a family, and then your husband comes home or your partner comes home, and the last thing you think about is sex.
Yeah.
Because you're just you're depleted with energy. You don't have any energy left. And that becomes a real problem because the relationship suffers from that you're not concentrating on your relationship anymore because now your primary focus is that family.
Right. Well, so what do you wish, besides what you've just said already, what do you wish more moms knew about this topic?
Well, they did a research at University of Denver. They did an 8-year research with 200 couples, and they said almost 90% of those couples had said that they found a decrease in satisfaction in their marriage when a baby or a child is introduced into the family.
And it lasts about 18 years.
Yes, it does, or even longer.
Yeah.
Possibly even until like 30.
Yeah.
Hopefully not. But I wish that women would understand that they're not alone.
Nice.
Okay, and that if they don't feel like they want to give out, in the relationship, or feel like they're not wanting to have sex, that is really normal. Okay, and I think that they need to start talking to someone about that. Talk to a girlfriend, or possibly talk to a therapist, and really build on their relationship with their partner, and really take time to rejuvenate themselves, and really start thinking about how they can make it fun, like spark their relationship again.
Yeah.
And there's a couple ways that they can do that. Number one, I always tell people, hey, communicate with each other. Okay, because if there's a lot of different expectations, like you expect your partner to do certain things and they're not fulfilling their end of the bargain, there's going to be a lot of resentment in that relationship.
But they might not know, right? Because you haven't brought it up, it's uncomfortable, you hope it'll just work itself out.
Exactly, exactly. And over time that builds up, you know, so therefore, you know, the intimacy gets lost in that. And the relationship starts to deteriorate. So I think better communication equals better sex, because you always have to be upfront with your partner and let them know what it is that you're expecting, what their role now as, not only as a parent, but as far as being the significant other in that relationship.
Yeah, and do you know any folks that actually have those conversations before they're in that situation? Or, I know, I never hear of it. It's only once the kids...
only after.
Right, okay.
Unfortunately. Because, you know, there's so many changes going on. So, I mean, your focus, again, on the relationship is kind of like down the toilet by the time you're dealing with all these other issues as being a new parent. Yeah. You know, being with that child.
Right. Any other suggestions you have?
Definitely. So, you know, better sex, I mean, better communication equals better sex. I also think that people need to tap in and rejuvenate, take time for themselves. Because, you know, many times we're so involved with our family that we forget time to take care of ourselves as a mom. So I think it's really important to take time away, maybe have babysitters take them.
Find a reliable babysitter early if you can. Yeah, it's so important.
Do fun things with your girlfriends. You know, go out for lunch dates with them, or even girls' night out, you know. Pedicures, day spas, like things like that are fun to really rejuvenate themselves first.
So you're saying both separately and together do things to rejuvenate yourself. Nice.
Most definitely. And the last thing is being playful with each other.
Like toys.
Yes, like toys. You know, I really think the intimacy should be fun and sexy. So we should introduce erotic play into that with toys, or maybe if they're not into that kind of thing, maybe, you know, finding out ways on how they can do some different sexual positions, you know, thinking about sensual play like massages, or even thinking of watching porn together. Okay, so things like that can spark the relationship, but also building climax, or what I call sexual intensity, throughout the day.
Like the anticipation?
Exactly. Yeah. So like, you know, little things like little love notes left in his briefcase, or in the car, or around the house if your kids can't read it.
Right.
Obviously. Really important.
Right.
You know?
Hot little texts.
Hot little
texts.
Yeah. Maybe, you know, do some, you know, phone sex.
Yeah. I mean, like some of this stuff is considered cliche, but that stuff works.
Yes,
if you really every day you set your intention around it and create that space and stay committed to it and not let it sort of drift off for a day, week, months at a time, it really does make a difference.
Right. And I think that that's what's really important. Like little things like that. And just giving a kiss or touching your partner affectionately really brings that connection again to each other, because now that you're touching and feeling, that means that you're both still wanting to be intimate with one another.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Round of applause for Kathy. And I love this. I love her website. If you want to find Kathy online, you can visit sexucator.com. Sexual fun fact. So since we're talking about mommies here, I figured I'd bring in a sexual fun fact about sperm. So my question is, how does sperm, once they are inside a woman, find their way to the ova, or the egg? A, there's a magnetic pull that draws them to the egg. B, they are propelled by their tails and hope for the best. C, they have odor receptors and can smell a chemical from the ova. Or D, they stop and ask for directions. So bad. I know that's bad. I couldn't C? Oh, C. Yay. Oh. Was there another C over here? Ooh. There you go. Yes, so this sperm, they actually have odor receptors, and the egg releases a chemical that attracts it, and the sperm are able to pick it up, and it guides them in. Fascinating. The sex position of the day. So according to the position of the day playbook, what is the out-of-town guests? Any ideas? Yeah, I don't know what that looked like sexually either, so I was kind of perplexed. So I consulted with the 9-year-old daughter of a college friend of mine who just had several guests visiting from out of town. You know, I figure it's always valuable to get a 9-year-old's take on things, and this is what she drew. All right, it's very playful. It looks like, you know, they went hiking and, you know, some things in the air and a lot of food. So I'm kind of feel like I'm getting the theme of kind of generosity and adventure. So, all right, well, let's take a look at what the authors of the book actually drew for this. Holy crap. That is a very welcoming and open household. And I see the themes of adventure and generosity, really giving to their out-of-town guests. That's nice. Well, in conclusion here, I'd like to thank you to our live audience for being here to talk about sex, and Kathy Wynn for talking about sex after kids. Yay! I can see she's even tweeting about the experience right now. You can find me online at drjensden.com and on Facebook and Twitter at drjensden. Get in touch with me if you'd like some one-on-one counseling in person or via Skype, or are in need of a university speaker on sexuality and gender. Now don't miss the crazy outtake after the credits, and as always, be kind to yourself. Good. Oh, I gotta reload in the back. We just got some lube here.